Hey, Coach. Appreciate you taking the time today.
Appreciate y'all. Hope everyone had a nice holiday season, safe and everything.
We'll get started here with Mike Kay and then EJ Smith.
Need to take off mute there. Hey, Mike, what went into the decision to bring in McCrane, and why was it important to prioritize kicker over maybe bringing in an extra long snapper and an extra punter as well?
It was just more just you obviously we've all seen the headlines and everything with the COVID and people going down. It was more of a just contingency plan, just in case something were to happen where we have to bring in a kicker and everything like that. So it was just more just making sure we were ready for anything to happen. And Nick and Howie do a great job of thinking ahead, just in case. It was more just to cover ourselves more than anything else.
Go ahead, EJ and then Dave.
Hey, Mike, there were a couple of times on Sunday where, you had returners kind of play it off one bounce. And I'm just kind of curious, like, what the coaching points are with that. Is that something that you sort of discourage, or is that something you're okay with in certain circumstances?
I guess I'll just split it up. For kickoff return, we love the ball not hit the ground. But I know it looked like from a bystander to late December game. It was actually really nice weather, but from the wind standpoint for special teams going north into the open tunnel, the wind was actually really tricky. And the one that Kenny had caught off the one hop, the ball just kind of died right there. And Graham does a really good job anyways of kind of popping it up with good hang time, but it just got caught in that little wind right there, and it just one hopped him right there, and he just got what he got. Then we got to the 24-yard line. And in terms of punt is a little bit different. Sometimes a punter hits a bad ball and it rolls or bounces. Sometimes it bounces right to the returner. Sometimes it's all over the place. Obviously, we love to catch the ball, without it hitting the ground, but it's all, a different scenario right there in terms of, is it going out of bounds? Is it going right to you? Can you get as many yards as possible? I mean, the two different scenarios was Kenny's in the kickoff return. He got it, got what he could, got to the 24-yard line, which was great. Then one with Jalen to his right, it was a shorter punt and it bounced, but it bounced right to Jalen, and he picked up 14 yards and saved us, some good field position right there, which I thought was a very good job by him. And just, it's all situationally, where am I at? Where's the coverage people at in terms of, am I going to pick up a bouncing ball, or am I just going to poise and call it, make sure everybody gets away, and we live to fight another down?
Go ahead, Dave and then Bo.
Michael, on Jalen's big punt return, how did that happen? How did he get sprung? And is that the type of play you hope can bring some added confidence for him?
Yeah, I don't think the confidence ever wavers for Jalen. It's funny, I was on my morning commute to the stadium, and I rarely get a text from anybody, before 9 o'clock on Sundays, and I get a text from Jalen saying he was going to get one this week. So the confidence never wavers with Jalen. And in terms of the play, it was an outstanding job by him, running up, being aggressive, and catching the ball before, like we just mentioned, the ball hits the ground. And really, if you watch the play, JJ, I'll take a step back, it always starts on the outside with us. So Josiah and Zach were in a double on the right side, and Andre Chasseray was on the left side in a single, and they did a heck of a job stopping the Gunners. You could never get a return really started unless you stop the Gunners. So they did an outstanding job right there. Then if you look at it, JJ's on the interior, and he puts his foot in the ground, and he helps out, kind of create an open lane, him and Jared Maiden. And JJ kind of took out two people. He kind of took a charge on the gunner and blocked his own guy, and that's where the lane kind of opened up for Jalen. And Jalen trusted it. He trusts the other 10 guys to get the blocks. He hit it forward, and he got to the outside, got vertical, then stretched it. And it was just a big play, not just for the punt return team, but also for the offense, a short field. Obviously, we got 3 points out of it, but just one of those things where it kind of shortens up the field for the offense.
Go ahead, Bo and then Chris.
Hey, Mike, the opening kickoff, what's the coaching point for Kenny there, or was it just a really good play by the other team getting that ball loose?
There's always coaching points for Kenny. When he gets in a crowd, he just has to cover up. Has all the points of pressure right there. He tried to make a move, and the ball kind of got loose off his body right there, and the coverage team made a good play. The guy's helmet hit him right on the ball right there as he spun. We were fortunate enough that JJ was right there to pick it up and, got the ball to the 23 right there. But it was also just coaching, it's just some coaching points. When you get into that crowd, especially hitting it downhill, we just got to cover it up. Then you could go back to one hand once it opens up a little bit more. So more just coaching and just being more aware. You're in a crowd, let's just cover it up. If he's going to fall forward to the 25-26, ball pops out. We're fortunate enough that JJ was in the right place at the right time, got on it, and saved a disaster play from happening.
Go ahead, Chris, and then John.
Hey, Mike. Andre Chachere was added to the reserve COVID list, and he's been one of the best gunners you guys had on the team now. Now you also don't have Sean Bradley, who's also on that list. How tough is it as a special teams coordinator to continue to basically try to do the best job you guys can with so many players moving in and out, and especially a lot of call-ups having to fill in those special teams roles?
Yeah, I think that's what every special teams coordinator, when you take this job, it's always a moving part. Everything's very fluid, which makes it a very challenging job, but also a very fun job because you get to see a lot of these younger guys come in, and we try to get them ready just like if they're going to start, especially the last couple years with the pandemic happening. We got to be all hands on deck. So it's one of those things where it's an added challenge, but everyone's going through it. There's 31 other teams going through all this COVID reserve and everything like that. But I think the guys that have been brought up, they've been playing really well. Jared Maiden, he's been in there in a couple tackles, helped spring Jalen on that return. You saw big Cameron Malvo run down on kickoff and get in on that tackle with JJ. We treat everybody the same around here, and it's just, obviously this is coaches talking, it's kind of cliche, next man up, but it really is, especially in the special teams world. You got to be ready for your name to be called, and these guys do an outstanding job in terms of practice. They come up to our office asking, hey, what can I get better at? What should I be looking at right here? So it's just one of those things. We got to have everybody prepared for anything to happen, whether that's, COVID or an injury. So the guys have done an outstanding job in terms of just understanding what our game plan is, and they've been playing, and we hold a high standard. And everyone's just trying to reach that standard right there. Obviously, with Andre and Sean, they've put a high standard up. So everybody else, the next guys up, really got to elevate themselves, and they've been doing a fairly good job with that.
We'll go to John and then Zach.
Hi, Michael. Jake missed a kick for the first time in a long time. When you looked at it, what did you see? What was a little bit off there?
Yeah, and just like anything else, you love to be perfect, but our operation wasn't our greatest operation in terms of the standard we've had and what we've had this season. So it was a big thing in terms of just the snap, the hold, and the kick. And, it was one of those things where just something bad happened in our operation, which we never want. Jake tried to save it, but it just kind of tailed off to the right a little bit, but they cleaned it up the last few kicks and got as many points as we possibly can. Obviously, not up to our standards to miss, and like I've told you guys before, those 40 to 49 yarders are like our money kicks right there. But the good thing is they came back, they got those 2 field goals and hit all of our extra points to really get the points that we needed right there.
All right, we'll take 2 more here. So go ahead, Zach, and then Martin.
Hey, Michael, from the first day of camp to now, week 17, which player in your group has improved the most?
That's a very good question in terms of it's hard to pinpoint on it, just one guy. You obviously see just the growth from the first time getting here. Obviously, me coming from San Francisco, it was a clean slate from everyone. But you could throw out, JJ, Zach McPherson, Sean. Like, you could throw out a whole bunch of names that just keep getting progressively better and better. Patrick Johnson. All these guys are just trying to get better and better, and they're helping out the team, with these, some spark plays here and there, some field position plays here and there. So I can't really pinpoint just one guy that, stands out right there. But for the most part, this group is trying to get better and better, and it's going to try and help our team, especially in December games where it's going to come down to that third phase special teams, whether it's flipping the field or making a big play to propel us towards a win.
Go ahead, Martin.
Hey, Michael. You've mentioned JJ, I think twice at least, today about making big plays and everything on special teams. What makes him so valuable as a special teamer, and when did you kind of get the sense that, he would be a major contributor?
A lot of the times when it comes to special teams, it's just their mindset. Like Coach Sirianni had said, like, embracing your role. JJ embraced his role to whatever number wide receiver he is to a special teams player. And he comes in, almost every Monday and Tuesday up to the special teams room, asks, let's go over the film. What do we do? What do we got the next week? And he really puts in the time and effort to study who he's got on the holdups, who he's got blocking on kickoff return, what's the return coming at him right there, how can I get better, how should I take on this block? And he just asks the right questions, and he cares on making big plays right here. And I think he's done a great job in terms of kind of being a bigger wide receiver, bringing a little bit more of a physical presence. He's been close to a couple block punts. He has great straight line speed running down on kickoff, and he's helped out a lot on punt. Being able to block, being a big wide receiver, and the getting out, he's deterred maybe some returners trying to catch the edge because of his straight line speed, makes them slow their feet down and allows the other guys to get down there. So JJ's done a heck of a job in terms of embracing his role, and he's really contributed a lot to help our special teams unit.
Thanks for the time, Coach.